Have you ever wondered why the hippopotamus, one of the largest and most powerful animals on the planet, almost never appears on a dinner plate? It seems strange when you think about it. Cows graze beside them in the same rivers of imagination we picture across Africa. Pigs are smaller and far more dangerous to handle in some ways, yet they became one of the most farmed animals on Earth. But the hippo, despite its enormous size and abundant meat, remains something almost nobody eats. The answer begins with something most people never expect. The hippopotamus may be the most lethal large animal in Africa. More deadly than lions, more deadly than crocodiles, more deadly than almost anything else that shares its territory. Not because it hunts people, it doesn't. Hippos are herbivores. They spend their days grazing on grass, not stalking prey. But that gentle diet hides a terrifying temper. Hippos are fiercely territorial, especially in water. A hippo defending its space can crush a boat, snap a canoe in half, or kill a person in seconds with jaws capable of exerting bone-shattering force. This single fact quietly shaped an entire relationship between humans and this animal. If you cannot safely approach something, you cannot easily hunt it. And if you cannot easily hunt it, you cannot easily turn it into food. But danger alone doesn't fully explain the silence around hippo meat. After all, humans have hunted lethal animals before. We hunted mammoths, we hunted whales, we even hunted lions in ancient times. So why did the hippo slip through the cracks of human cuisine? Part of the answer lies buried in ancient belief systems, thousands of years before refrigeration or supermarkets existed. In ancient Egypt, the hippopotamus held a complicated, almost contradictory reputation. On one hand, a hippo goddess named Taweret was worshipped as a protector of childbirth and the home. On the other hand, the male hippo became associated with Set, the god of chaos, violence, and disorder. Egyptians ritually hunted hippos not primarily as food, but as a symbolic battle against chaos itself. The animal was something to be defeated, feared, and controlled, not casually eaten like a farmed animal in a field. That fear echoes far beyond Egypt. Across many cultures, animals seen as dangerous, wild, and untamable tend to be treated differently in the human imagination. We rarely build comfortable culinary traditions around animals that terrify us. We build myths. Religion added another invisible barrier. In Jewish dietary law, an animal is considered clean to eat only if it both chews cud and has fully split hooves. The hippopotamus does neither in the way required. It doesn't ruminate like a cow, and its feet don't meet the necessary criteria. That alone excludes it entirely from kosher tradition. In Islamic dietary guidance, opinions vary by scholar and region, but many classify the hippo among animals whose status is uncertain or discouraged, partly due to its powerful canine teeth resembling predator-like anatomy, even though its diet is purely plant-based. So, an animal already difficult and dangerous to hunt also found itself excluded from major religious frameworks that shaped food culture across huge portions of the world for thousands of years. But here's where the story becomes more surprising. The claim that humans never eat hippo meat isn't entirely true. In parts of Central and East Africa, some communities have hunted and consumed hippo meat for generations, particularly in regions along major rivers and lakes where hippos are abundant. To local hunters with deep traditional knowledge, hippo meat has been a genuine, if occasional, source of protein. It has even been described by those who eat it as tasting closer to beef than to more commonly eaten bushmeat. So why hasn't this practice spread globally the way beef, pork, or chicken farming did? Part of the reason lies in something biology quietly enforces. A single hippo can weigh well over a ton. In a world without industrial refrigeration, killing an animal that large creates an enormous problem. Meat spoils quickly in hot climates, and a carcass that size cannot be consumed by a single family or even a small village before decay sets in. Smaller, more manageable animals became easier to integrate into daily life, farming, and trade. There's also a hidden danger inside the meat itself. Hippos can carry anthrax, a serious bacterial disease capable of surviving for extended periods in soil and carcasses. Historical outbreaks in parts of Africa have been linked to communities butchering hippo carcasses found dead near rivers. Handling that meat without proper knowledge could be lethal long after the animal itself was gone. Layer onto this the fact that hippos reproduce slowly. A female typically carries a single calf after an 8-month pregnancy, and calves take years to mature. Compare that to chickens, pigs, or cattle, animals humans deliberately bred over centuries to reproduce quickly and grow efficiently. Hippos were never shaped by that kind of selective breeding, because domesticating an animal this aggressive was never realistic in the first place. And that might be the deepest truth hiding underneath this entire mystery. Domestication isn't just about taste or size. It's about temperament. Early humans could domesticate animals that could tolerate proximity, confinement, and human control. Cattle could be led. Sheep could be herded. Pigs could be penned. Hippos could not. Their instinct to defend territory with lethal force made them fundamentally incompatible with early agricultural life. Today, the picture has shifted again, but not toward acceptance. Common hippopotamus populations are now considered vulnerable in the wild, threatened by habitat loss and illegal hunting, driven by demand for both bushmeat and the ivory-like value of their teeth. Conservation laws in many countries now restrict or heavily regulate hippo hunting altogether, adding a modern legal barrier on top of every ancient cultural one. So when you ask why humans never eat hippo meat, the real answer isn't a single reason. It's centuries of accumulated obstacles stacking on top of each other. A temperament too dangerous to domesticate, a body too large to preserve, religious frameworks that quietly excluded it, ancient mythology that framed it as chaos rather than sustenance. And now, modern conservation laws protecting what's left of a species already in decline. The hippopotamus was never rejected because its meat was inedible. It was rejected because everything about its existence, its size, its temper, its symbolism, and its biology made it one of the hardest animals on Earth to ever fully claim as our own. And that leaves us with a strange realization. Sometimes the reason we don't eat something has very little to do with taste, and everything to do with fear, mythology, and the invisible boundaries early humans drew between the animals they could control and the animals that could never truly be controlled at all.